Love is in the air. Good evening, everybody. It is February 14th, 2020. This is the Wrestling Inc. podcast for SmackDown Live. I'm your host for the evening, Michael Wiseman, joined as we are almost every Friday by the Blueprint, Matt Morgan. Matt, how's it going, man?
What's up, buddy?
What's up? What's up? What's up is love. Love is in the air. And tonight's Valentine's Day special edition of SmackDown, emanating live from British Columbia in Vancouver, the Rogers Arena. The whole theme of tonight was going to be love, right? And we had the big storyline going on with Otis and Mandy Rose. So a lot to get to in this show. Quick thoughts on the top of the show, Matt. Do you like it, not like it, indifferent to the show tonight?
I had hopes when I seen Hulk Hogan on, right?
Yeah. But that was one of the kind of the late additions here was they were going to have Hulk Hogan on tonight. They were hyping him being on, and a few other big matches.
Yeah. I wish he took it more seriously than what he did in that segment, but we'll get to it.
All right. We'll get to that here in a little bit. So the show opened up tonight with a special Valentine's Day edition of A Moment of Bliss with Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross. They started off, I thought it was a weird, awkward segment here talking about who their celebrity crushes were. Alexa Bliss said hers was Brad Pitt. Nikki Cross would not reveal hers. I thought this was an awkward spot to start with. What do you think?
Very, very awkward and super annoying. I'll be honest. I was annoyed by it.
Yeah, it wasn't a great hook.
I used to DVR these shows so I could fast forward through commercial breaks. And I'll be honest, this would have been something I would have fast forwarded for sure. But no could do. My wife got rid of her damn what do you call it? Our DVR boxes.
TiVo? Yeah.
I got rid of it, man. So I got stuck watching it, and it sucked.
Yeah.
Major donkey, you know what?
Well, they've not done a lot with either one of these women lately, and I know they still do these Moment of Bliss segments. Alexa Bliss has got a lot going on in her personal life, but I thought this was a weird thing. So
when she does it by herself, it's okay.
Sure.
It's so forced with her and her tag partner when she does it. I don't believe her Nikki Cross. Just don't believe her.
Yeah. I agree. And I think, too, it was just they had awkward timing here. The joke fell very flat. Nikki Cross's timing wasn't great with that. So I think it wasn't great for either woman. The setup here, they were congratulating Carmella, who won the big win last week to become the number one contender. Carmella came out and she says it's going to shake everything up when she wins the title later on tonight. Now, Matt, correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe I'm misremembering, but I thought that win last week was supposed to be a number one contendership for Super Showdown.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't remember. See, that's just it. I should remember that. Yeah. I don't. That's how inconsequential it is.
Yeah.
That's not a good thing that I forgot that.
No, it's not. And but I guess it was supposed to take place tonight. So Carmella comes out and says she blames. They showed some pictures from Instagram and her and Bayley being friends before. Mm-hmm. And then she blamed the ending of their friendship on the MIA Sasha Banks. Mm-hmm. And says how Bayley has been worse because of Sasha Banks. Of course, this prompted Bayley to come out. She said Carmella's nauseating. She says it's not about Banks, it's about Carmella. She says we were friends, but not best friends. Calls her a loser and kind of insults the entire stage up there. And this prompts Carmella to say, well, let's go ahead and get this match on. Let's do it right now. So what do you think about the interaction here between Carmella, Bayley, and Bayley's little heel moment?
I feel very happy that Bayley, clarified that she's not her best friend. She's like number 6 on her list. Like, what the hell does that mean? She's not my very best friend, but
right. Like there's this qualifier in here, right? Like it feels very forced from Bayley's perspective here, where it's like, well, I don't like you because you're not my best friend. It's like high school shenanigans,
which in a way should draw some type of heat with a younger demographic. It should, because they should be able to relate to that if that's what's happening in their schools and how people talk. I just don't know if they talk that way. I mean, I'm sure they rank their friends. I'm sure that is something that's a real thing. Sadly enough, I'm sure it is. But still, it did nothing for me watching the show and going, oh, that dastardly, Bayley, she's improving as a heel. I didn't get any of that from her tonight.
Were you ever on what was it, MySpace back in the day, where you had your top 5 friends and you had to rank which ones were up there?
I was very late to the game with all of that stuff until Twitter. I was very on. Yeah, I was on I was on like right when Twitter hit big. I was right on it. And then same with Instagram, but never not MySpace.
But you had to decide which 5 friends went in there, and you always had Tom in your top spot. So this kicked off the match tonight. And again, I think I agree with you, Matt, that like it was just kind of forced, kind of high school shenanigans. And Carmella here, here's my quick opinion on Carmella. I think she's a great talent. It's weird that she got this spot, and I hate, like, it seems like maybe they're going to do more with her, but this is a really weird way to stick her into this storyline that was kind of already established with Naomi.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of got the vibe they just fast forwarded her storyline.
Yeah,
get her in and out and get her done with her match with Bayley, so Bayley can get on to Naomi already.
Yeah, I think they did, but I don't know why you wouldn't have had Naomi win last week and why you even have this match here. Well, let's get to it. The match here, the SmackDown Women's title match, Carmella versus Bayley. And this was, they gave this thing 2 commercial segments. They started going at it pretty early on. Carmella got some pretty good offense early on, took Bayley down by her arm. Bayley got back up. Carmella slapped Bayley, drop kicked her for a 2 count. Bayley fought back. Bayley took Carmella down and kicked her in the corner, which I thought was, Bayley got some really good offense in there. And then Carmella hit the Meligo-round. I love that move. It looks fantastic. It's a really, kind of gets her up there. And I think it just looks great. And then Carmella had to, Bayley rolled out of the ring to get to the floor and regroup. Afterwards, Carmella did a suicide dive to the floor, got back into the ring and wrestled around some more. Bayley eventually dropped Carmella face first onto the announce table, cut to commercial break. After the commercial, Carmella had a big boot, had 2 clotheslines, atomic drop. Lots of offense from Carmella in this match, kept control of Bayley. Bayley eventually gets a cheap shot in here as Carmella's getting frustrated, more back and forth. But the thing was, Carmella hit the code of silence, locked it in. Bayley almost tapped out. Right? Almost. Bayley eventually got back out of it, and then Bayley snuck the win in there by using the ropes for leverage at the very end. So a pretty long, I think, this match about 20 minutes actually to open up the show.
Yeah, this match was super. This match is super long, like ridiculously long. Good quality time for, I thought, Melody to get some time in. We haven't seen her. I don't feel they utilize her quite nearly enough.
Yeah.
But this was good time for her to draw sympathy as a babyface, I thought, for the most part. But just straight up paint by numbers match to me, nothing spectacular though. Yeah,
I agree. Giving Carmella that showcase, which has been kind of off screen. She was the first SmackDown Women's Champion whenever they or one of the. Was she the first SmackDown Women's Champion when they moved over?
She was one of them.
Yeah, she was one of the early ones there. So I'm glad they're going back to her. I think she's got a huge potential here. So I'm glad she got some really good offense in this match. We've talked ad nauseum about Bayley in the past. So, this segment works from the perspective of Bayley cheated to win, and that's what the heel does. So I like it from that perspective. Gets her more heat here. After the match, Naomi ran out, and so we kind of had all 3 of them battling around, and they eventually kicked Bayley out to the floor. And so, I mean, it looks like the setup for next week is going to be Naomi versus Carmella, because Carmella's still pissed off about the loss here and the cheating, and the winner goes on to face Bayley at Super Showdown.
Yeah, and Mella needs to get ready because she's about to take another L. Because there ain't no way in hell they're having her beat Naomi.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, just a weird swerve. I mean, you could even do a triple threat here, right? I would have.
You could, but I mean, come on. I mean, usually they do triple threats to protect someone, usually the champion. If the champion has to drop the title, doesn't have to take a pin, they have a gripe. Yeah. I don't even think they think high enough of Bayley as her champion to even worry about protecting her without doing the JOB. If somebody they feel needs that title, and I still think they're holding off right before Mania for a title switch with her. It could be now for all I know, but I do feel it coming.
How do you feel about Naomi? Are you pretty high
on her?
Awesome.
I'm all in on Naomi. Yeah. She can't get enough TV time for me.
Yep. I go back to that WrestleMania moment in Orlando when she won the championship in her hometown, and it was just an incredible moment. Yep. So after this match, we flash back to last week and Baron Corbin humiliating the Roman Reigns fan and attacking the guy in the production truck. Michael Cole lets us know that Corbin has been fined and barred from competing tonight. Keyword there, I wonder if he'll show back up. After the break, of course, we saw some more fallout. Bayley said that she will not defend her title again until Saudi Arabia, and that's what sets up the match for next week. There's going to be a big interview with Lacey Evans next week. She's kind of been MIA since her big title match at the Royal Rumble. So I'm wondering what they're going to do with her, but it seems like they showed a great promo video for her. I don't know. What do you do with her at this point?
Start to drop some of the sassy Southern Belle thing.
Yeah.
I would even argue maybe get her new music, get something that's a little bit closer to who she is in real life, because who she is in real life is the ultimate babyface. I say it every damn time we talk about her on this podcast. She really is in real life the ultimate babyface.
Sure.
She is. Hell of a mother, hell of a wife, from what it seems. And hell defended our country. You know what I mean?
Right.
Can't get much more babyface or American pie.
She's a real hero. Exactly.
American apple pie is her. So they just need to start continuing. They need to continue that route with her, but you got to make a little changes here. She doesn't need the over the top, Southern Sassy Belle stuff anymore. This is way better than that.
Yeah, 100% agree. And I do like too that they showed the footage of her with the kids and everything. I think that sends the right message to the fans.
She's awesome in real life.
We got a little backstage vignette. Otis was acting very nervous. Tucker comes over, says tells Otis Mandy's running late, and tries to calm Otis down. But Otis is like, I wonder if Mandy can really like me. So we kind of see the nerves coming out from Otis. And then afterwards, we get a handicap match, a follow-up to last week's segment. Sheamus versus Apollo Crews and Shorty G. This match did not last very long. I would say here, we see Cruz gets a little bit of work in there. He tags in Shorty G. G gets a big pop when he comes in now. But Sheamus just drops him with an uppercut here that was just brutal. A little bit of back and forth. They tag Cruz back in. They are able to take Sheamus down. And Cruz had a pretty sweet looking moonsault. But a shooting star press, but Sheamus kicked out. And then, Sheamus just launched Cruz shoulder first in the corner and hits a brogue kick to seal the win here. And he made pretty quick work of two guys here that, I think in the past, fans were pretty high on both Apollo Crews and Shorty G at separate times. What do you make of this?
Don't care. Happy they fed him to Sheamus. This makes Sheamus look like a bigger monster, more formidable perennial main event talent per se.
Yeah.
And this helps him. I'm fine with this.
What about Shorty G here, though, right? I mean,
don't care about Shorty G.
You don't care about him?
Don't care. He's not a star. He's not somebody who's going to draw that company money. Sheamus, at least you can build to the person that loses to the guy that draws that company money, and I think that's more important.
Yeah. What about Apollo Crews?
Awesome talent.
Yeah.
I don't mean to take anything away from him when I say that, but this is my company and whatnot. I'm okay with this.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I really was. Apollo Crews is the kind of talent that, in my opinion, could just get on a winning streak and hopefully, get his way out of it. But he had a good showing for himself too, though. To be fair, he did. He did. And Sheamus just looked like a runaway train out there. He did. He looked like a freaking monster.
I think it did what it needed to for Sheamus, and I agree with you. Sheamus is your money guy here. He's the veteran here. I wonder where you go with him next. I mean,
simple. I just told you. You build him to be the main, to be that perennial main event talent, to lose, to do the job to the bigger baby face that you're trying to build, or that needs a very big win. And that's what all big guys, they do with all big heels like that, especially monster heels. They build them to lose to the John Cenas, to the Roman Reigns.
Yeah, I think rumor is Roman Reigns is going to be fighting for the championship at Mania, but I think Reigns and Sheamus could do some sweet work in between now and then if they do something with Fiend and Goldberg moving forward. So we'll see. I think my big thing with Apollo Crews, I wish they'd given him more when he was in NXT. I think there was a chance for him. They never did enough with him down there, and they brought him up, and he's just been kind of hanging around. So he's never been given that real good lengthy run, I felt like. So we see afterwards, we see Mandy Rose show up at the restaurant. She gets seated to her table. And then we get to the Hulk Hogan interview, the much hyped Hulk Hogan interview you referenced earlier, getting set up. So they show the preview between what happened between Goldberg and The Fiend from last week and how Goldberg challenged The Fiend. And Hulk Hogan jumps in here with kind of what I thought was an odd promo. He talked about the NWO going to the Hall of Fame. It says it's for life. Says it's the real deal. And then Cole was like, hey, does Hulk Hogan, ask Hogan, does Goldberg have a shot at defeating The Fiend at Super Showdown? And he says, Goldberg, he talks about feeling the power of Goldberg in the ring. This is The Fiend, better be careful. So, of course, this is where The Fiend cuts in with his own Firefly Funhouse promo. We see Wyatt walk on with the Universal title. Huskus the Pig Boy is there. Wyatt does a comedy shtick with him with the chocolate because it's Valentine's Day. Hogan says Wyatt's a funny guy with jokes, but it won't be funny when he gets in the ring with Goldberg. And then Wyatt gets serious and warns Hogan that he doesn't need jokes. He's got a Fiend. Hogan tells Wyatt to be careful because there could be room for him on the wall. And he shows us the wall of pictures. And there's a picture of Hogan there with the eyes crossed out. And then Hogan tells Wyatt we'll see him at the Hall of Fame in April and walks off. Then Wyatt says goodbye in his funny way and ends the segment.
I mean, this was good. I thought it was good. I just didn't. Hogan was like laughing a little bit, towards the end. I mean, I don't know. Would we rather him pretend to shit his pants and pretend to be scared of this monster? I don't know. Would we be critiquing him for that? You know what I mean? So
yeah,
I'm thinking that now. But when I watched the show, I did think that. I was like, damn, I wish he took us a little bit more serious and kind of sold a little bit more, like of being scared of him. I'm being super nitpicky, but because at the end of the day, you do any segments of Hulk Hogan, you're made. It is what it is. Yeah. So this was great for friggin' Bray Wyatt. This was fantastic for his character.
I think that is interesting, putting him up there. Of course, he's going against Goldberg, which is huge for him as well. But putting him up there with a legend like Hulk Hogan does set him apart here. I think my big thing is, for me personally, I don't care what Hulk Hogan thinks about this match. But if you have some of the younger fans who know Hulk Hogan is one of the all-time greats and he has that aura, right? Seeing Hulk Hogan talk about this match probably does add some weight to it in a way that, I think maybe I would take. I'm being nitpicky, right? I would take that for granted this day and age.
You think the younger fans didn't know who that guy was on TV tonight?
No, I think they do is what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah.
I'm saying I think for them, right? I think back in the day when I first started watching wrestling and you had the older veterans on there showing up, and I didn't know everything about them. And I knew that they were a veteran, and it added weight to stuff that otherwise in younger stars that I wouldn't.
It was so different though. Like when I was a kid, I'm older than you. That was Bruno. Bruno was on color. On there, I believe every Saturday morning when I watch it. And I just know from what my dad would tell me about how awesome this guy was. And then he eventually did come back and get in the ring, Bruno. And I remember thinking like, oh, this guy looks so old. He looks like my dad. Like, these young guys are going to kill him. Like Piper. I remember Piper was going to, I'm like, he wrestled Piper, I think. It's like, oh my God, Piper's going to kill him. He didn't. But I'm just saying, so like we didn't have the exposure. Like for instance, I couldn't go as a kid, go hop on my YouTube and go look up Bruno Sammartino at the time.
That's true.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like these kids now have so much exposure to so much crap whenever they want at the touch of the fingertips on any of their phones, rather, I should say, or any of their platforms and surfaces, right? So it's a very informational era we live in. There's so much out there, especially with the network too. So I think they do see him. I know people sometimes think, oh, Hulk Hogan's just, the younger guys, fans, they don't really know him like he's the best of all time. Like, I don't know. I think they do because of what their parents tell them.
Yeah, I agree. That red and gold is, I mean, I think that's one of the most iconic color schemes in all of pro wrestling, right? Like you see that and you know who it means.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, of course.
Are they going to do anything else with him at Super Showdown though? I mean, I thought they were going to set something up for that tonight.
Like, what do you mean?
Like, I mean, last time at the Saudi Arabia show, they did a tag team Survivor Series match. It was times in the past they've done Hulk Hogan comes out and gives a speech at Super Showdown. I just wondered if they weren't going to do something else to set this up tonight. So we'll see what happens with that. We'll see what happens.
Like, did you think Hogan was going to wrestle him at Superstar?
No, I didn't think he was going to wrestle him, but I thought maybe he was going to offer to come out in Goldberg's corner or something like that. WWE likes to do.
Yeah.
Not that it would make any sense to do that, but
that's a big. Well, you know what? They apparently get everything they want there in Saudi Arabia, right? So why not Hulk Hogan too? Right?
Just toss it out there. Well, he was going to say he's been there before to.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, it's a great payday, but I can't believe it's their own. Yeah, I would never be able to go there. Just saying.
After this, we come back. We get a great look at. God, I feel old now. It's been 9 years to the week since The Rock returned to WWE. I think for that feud he had with John Cena. So anyway, that's my aging story there. Cesaro and Sami Zayn came out to the ring, talked for how they've been.
How old are you?
I'm 31.
Good. Shut up. Get the hell out of here.
I've been watching pro wrestling since I was 7 or 8. But
how old were you when Rock and like Stone Cold were like killing it?
So I was like 10, 11.
Wow.
Yeah.
I was a senior in college.
But hey, that's what I grew up on. I mean, I've said this before, Matt. My first major feud that I remember was Austin and Bret Hart. Like, that's the feud that got me into pro wrestling.
It's wild.
Yeah.
Mine was Andre and John Studd.
Yeah. That's a good one, too.
No, dude, that feels like a generation, literally a generation ago. Oh, my God.
I just think this generation's, Matt, is going to be Roman Reigns and Baron Corbin. So.
Yikes.
It was the dog food that got me in.
Is that what's next or no?
No, I'm just saying that's the feud that hooks people up, right? No, next was Sami Zayn talking about how they've been victims, Sami Zayn and Cesaro, victims of injustice for weeks against Elias. And they were going to do their own protest concert, but Elias interrupted and staged his own counter protest. They had security out there, but they let Elias come into the ring. They still tried to sing, but fans kept interrupting it. I love Sami Zayn here. He told Cesaro had a cowbell in this segment, which was great. And he was playing along with Sami Zayn's ukulele, and he was going really fast.
I thought this was good for what it's worth.
It was hilarious. And then at the end of this, we'll talk about it here in a second. At the end of this, basically everything falls apart. Elias kind of jumps in there. Braun Strowman runs out, and they throw out Sami Zayn and Cesaro. So, Matt, what were your take on this segment?
Boring lower card match until Braun Strowman came out and got involved. And I don't like Braun being a part of this. I just don't. Well, Matt, he's the mid-card champion. Well, I was hoping he would lift that title to mean more.
Sure.
And get it back to where it should be. Granted, it's a workers' championship. I get that. But when an Ultimate Warrior became Intercontinental Champion, that belt meant more. That's all I remember. So I don't know. I just don't like seeing him be part of this. Although, with that said, if he wasn't part of this, I would have liked it. For what it's worth, those two guys on their own. Because I thought like this helped Cesaro out. I thought tonight he was entertaining because of Sammy.
Yeah, he absolutely was. That cowbell stuff was hilarious. There's no greater way to get heel heat than to go out there and say less cowbell when everybody wants to see more cowbell, right? I mean, it's just
yes.
Definitely. It could be a lot. I think it could be good for Cesaro. I mean, I know that some people have their issues with Cesaro not being a world champion at this point, and I think the dude has more talent in his pinky than some of the guys do in their entire right hand, right? But I also understand that it's a business, and you put who out there you think it is. So him and Zayn together, though, you know what I appreciate about Cesaro? I feel like Cesaro still puts his all. Like if you watch him in this segment, he was having fun with it. He was hitting the cowbell, and he was still enjoying what he was doing out there. He's making the most of it. So. Definitely.
I thought the man looked better tonight. He's like I said, it's entertaining.
Yeah. So
context keep flowing.
We see a video package after this, a couple other little tidbits here and there, setting up a couple of things. But the biggest thing here is hyping John Cena's return, of course, and the Ruthless Aggression docuseries. So I'm really curious to see how they're going to use John Cena when he does come back. That's going to be an interesting place to go. But the big thing here was when we got back after this match, there was a video package highlighting the history here between Mandy, between Otis, and everything that's been going on there. So Otis shows up. Dude is dressed out in his sleeveless tux, right? Shows up to the restaurant, walks in, and asks the host if the host has seen a peach. The host points out where Rose is, and Otis is kind of going back and forth. He's playing with his hair a little bit. He's, do you want to go? I'm not going to go. In this time, we see.
You really need to break down his mannerisms. Just say he went.
Yeah. So we see here, he's impatient, right? And then this time we see Mandy Rose. Somebody walks up, taps her on the shoulder. It's Dolph Ziggler. And so when Otis finally comes around the corner, bouquet in hand, Ziggler's taking his spot. He drops the roses and walks out a broken-hearted man.
Can I just say something?
Sure.
Go back and watch last week's podcast. I literally said this is going to happen a week before it was going to happen.
That's true. That's true.
Seriously. I thought it already had happened, to be perfectly honest. I could have sworn I said like this did,
Yeah.
All right, Jax. It's just so my wife is sick. I apologize.
Yeah. Oh, you're good. No, it's family time on the podcast. I dig it.
I think he's crawling out of bed right now, knowing I can't see this microphone. And he's getting away with it.
It's Valentine's Day. No, there are no rules on Valentine's Day, Matt. It's all good. It's all good, man. This is the right call, though. I mean, this is how you were not actually going to have Otis and Mandy Rose be a couple on TV, were you, at this point?
I don't know. I mean, dude, nothing for nothing. Did you see his first pre-tape tonight? You were talking about it earlier.
Yeah.
You can hear the fans starting to try to chant Otis.
Yeah.
For a backstage segment. That's pretty good, man. The dude is over. You got to give him credit. He is over.
Oh, 100%. I think this is one of those storylines that has worked despite what the fans thought. I think at first the fans were fans. Twitter was totally against it, but the fans bought in. Yeah.
I don't like these love stupid storylines because I like watching just straight up wrestling.
Yeah.
I'll admit that. But sometimes when stuff is entertaining, it is entertaining sometimes. And he's done a good job with this. He definitely is an everyman, do you call it? Or do you call it everyday man? Everyman,
yeah.
Which, him being nervous about this, there's no way this girl could be into me. I'm definitely out kicking my coverage here with this type of feeling, right? And a lot of people can relate to that, I'm sure. Or they wish they could relate to it, I should say, right? Getting that perfect 10, if you will, that dream girl that you've always had, right? And he's about to go out on a date with it. It's a great thing, but everyone saw what was going to happen. Everyone always knew the carpet was going to be yanked from under his feet and our feet as fans for emotionally investing in him on this date.
That's right. No, and I wonder now moving forward, like Ziggler stole this here, so I think they're setting up Ziggler and Otis to fight, right? But they're going to fight for the hand of Mandy, right? That's what's going to happen here, and they're going to we're going to get a big kiss at WrestleMania or something, right?
Good Lord, I hope that is not the hook.
Mandy Rose is on the line. That's the stipulation for this match.
Yeah. Will she be on a pole?
If certain people who used to book professional wrestling had their way, who I can't name or I'll get in trouble on the podcast. Anyway, I don't want Raj to fire me for naming certain people here.
Oh God! When it comes to the barrel of him, free reign, my friend.
There you go. So that was that broken-hearted Otis segment that we've been Matt predicted weeks ago here. So we'll see what happens after that. And finally, that left us with the main event of the evening, a tag team contest: The Miz and John Morrison versus Roman Reigns and a tag team opponent to be named. So Miz and Morrison came out first and made fun of the Usos. And they said they've been back for a month already, and they already have Roman Reigns fighting their battles. Miz says he's always been here. Morrison tells the fans to stop booing him. They trash talk the tag team champions, The New Day, ahead of their match at Super Showdown. So Reigns comes out. The mystery partner is revealed to be Daniel Bryan. And then Baron Corbin comes walking down the aisle, sauntering with his ticket in hand for a front row seat, because while he's been banned from competing, he can still buy a ticket here.
Okay, he would be able to walk down like that, buying a ticket as a spectator. Sorry, continue.
Also, he got a seat at ringside that was like big and leathery and plushy, and I'm like, those aren't the ringside seats.
No, they're not.
None of this is right. Yeah, none of this is the way it works out here. So this was a really good match. I mean, I think it was about 20 minutes they gave this here,
which I was excited about.
Yeah, you know what? Here's what killed me about this match, Matt. And John Morrison is incredible, right?
Yes. Yeah, hell yeah, he is.
He did a suicide dive out to the outside. He went for the Starship Pain once and missed it. He went for the Starship Pain again and hit it. I mean, there was just so many crazy parkour style moves. The big thing for me though was down the stretch with the finish here, where we saw that move where John Morrison went up to do, what is it, the shining wizard kick? Is that the right move? And then Roman Reigns comes in while he's getting that move up. He's off the second rope and nails him with the Superman punch. And I thought that was an incredible sequence there. And then, of course, to get the win, Reigns ends up smashing Miz with a spear here. So, yeah, just a lot going on here. Reigns picks up the win after everything is said and done. At that moment, King Corbin runs the ring, beats down Roman Reigns to close the show.
So what was your stuff with John Morrison though? I thought it was a great match.
Yeah. Well,
right?
No. But here's my big issue with John Morrison. I don't have no issue with what he did in the match. He put his body out there a lot for a SmackDown show, I felt like.
Okay.
You see what I mean?
Yeah, I do. That's fair. Now, I know Johnny so well. He was one of my practice, I don't want to call them opponents, but my practice partners at OVW practice every day. We came up with so many cool things. We came up with a move that I finally seen Big Man finally smarten up and steal from me. It was a way to get out of a choke slam, and I used to do it with him all the time. And AJ finally used it on TV with one of the other big guys, and I was like, damn. It's awesome. You go to pick the guy up for a choke slam. This is what you go to pick him up. Stay over there, Jackson. Stay, Jackson Morgan. You're being very touchy.
For the audio version at home, we have Matt's kid is joining us in the podcast this evening for video demonstration. So I
had my action figure to show you, but really quick, you go to pick the guy up by the throat, right? Hand under his butt as you go to choke slam, and then at the last second, take his hand off his butt and push on his lower back and push him forward, so he looks like he's doing a backflip out of your choke slam.
Holy cow! He
lands in front of you, and you're like, "Holy what you just said!"
Yeah.
Throw a clothesline, have him duck it, eat a super kick, or in AJ's case, the Pele I would eat. In John Morrison's case, he would always super kick me.
Yeah.
It's an awesome, sweet way to get out of a choke slam. So my point, I don't know why I'm telling you that, but the point with John Morrison is, he doesn't think of anything. Oh, I'm gonna get hurt here.
Yeah.
And nor does he think he's really risking his health either. And I think that's how he's avoided all these years of really getting major injuries for the amount of crap he can do athletically.
Yeah.
I just have never seen an athlete like him who's always been natural. That dude's never been on the gas. And his joints in his wrists, his elbows, his shoulders, his ankles, everywhere you have a joint. Cena was like this too. They have super strong joints. And there's something to that I noticed with wrestlers not getting as injured as often.
Yeah.
And they can maintain longer careers somehow. And John Morrison. He's seriously like an alien, man. He's not human. It looks like $1 million. Doesn't he? To me, he's always screamed heavyweight champion once he got a little bit more experience and got the bigger matches under his belt, where he had to learn how to get a little bit more selfish. Because until then, John was always cool selling for everybody, and being his athletic self, but on the sell for everybody versus putting his shit out on front and center. Ta-da! Here's my shit on offense, if you will.
Yeah, I agree. I always thought WWE missed the boat. Right at the end of his run with them before he switched over and left, he was right there ready to just be world champion.
They're going to say, well, his promos were blah, 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 blah. Well, look what he did with Miz. Look what he did with the dirt sheet. When you let John just go and flow, he's hilarious.
Yes. He's not going to be your kind of John Cena-esque, I'm going to go out there and rally the world up kind of promo. He's going to be what he does here, which I think he's great at, is just that ability to go off the cuff here and make jokes and whatever else. And to your point about joints, I mean, if you look at I was looking at his back tonight when he was getting ready to go off the top rope. He just has so many. I mean, he's defined. He's got killer abs, but his core is so strong. His back has all these tiny muscles all over.
Freaking Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle shell with all these muscles in him.
He does, and that's a testament, I think, to he doesn't just do the big, bulky work. He does the really tight work that allows him to probably take these bumps and roll and tumble in a way that protects him more.
We were in OVW, mind you. We did bumping drills, hundreds and hundreds of back bumps and front bumps a day, right? This dude would still go to this gymnastics class in which he, back then, this is like 2004, maybe 2003. And back then, it wasn't like it was today where WWE Performance Center has those has the wrestling ring with the foam balls in the middle that you could jump off the top rope and practice shit onto. So he'd go to a gymnastics place to do all that and go on the trampoline. I'm like, dude, we just did 5 hours of practice. I'm getting my big butt to the gym at nighttime so I could continue my lifting and do cardio and work on that part of my body. This dude did that, plus would go spend an hour to 2 in gymnastics classes and then work on editing, like editing his own promos and stuff he was just starting out on. I'm like, dude loves the business. He has an engine like you would not believe.
Yeah.
Crazy. I'm talking like an entire day of this shit every single day.
He's got to have drive. I mean, he goes out there. He's done acting, of course, as well, but he did Survivor just for fun. I mean, dude did not have to do that.
That's so real life. Oh my God. That American Ninja is so real life. He just wants a challenge of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Crazy.
I am glad he's back this time. I hope this stuff with the Miz. I hope they're tag team champions.
Yeah. Oh, they are. There's no way around this. They have to give them the championships here. Come on. They'll increase those championships. They'll make them mean a little bit more. Sorry. And
surprise attack.
It's very loud though in my headphones. Sorry.
Yeah, you're good.
But yeah, I see them winning championships for sure. They'll uplift those titles. And now I was watching this the other day. I think it was on SmackDown. We were saying this. Think about it. You have Miz and Morrison as champions. Let's say you have come on, the guys are wrestling against. It's terrible of me.
Are you talking about Roman Reigns and Daniel Bryan?
No. I'm sorry.
Oh, you mean the New Day? Big E,
New Day.
Yeah.
Thank you. You have New Day. You have Rude and what's his name?
Yeah.
Ziggler, which is a good tag team.
Uh-huh.
All right. You have top guys.
Yeah.
You have the top guys there.
The Revival.
And then you have Usos.
Yep. Yeah. That's a killer. That is a killer tag team division. You are right.
Could you just say that one more time? Say that one more time. What is
that?
It
Is a killer tag team division.
You heard it here, folks. How much have we been burying WWE for having crappy tag teams? Not because of the tag teams themselves, but the booking of these tag teams.
Yeah.
And right now, they have a chance. They have a legitimate chance with major tag teams to turn this damn division around and how they treat tag teams. And I hope they do it. I really hope they do, because it won't be on the talent here. It'll be on the creative if they don't.
Yep, absolutely. Just for the record, Matt, fans in the chat room saying they love having your kid around, so no worries.
Guys.
The love is out there for your kid. I think it's an awesome moment here. So you know what's cool about this too, Matt? And I know we got one or two more things to get to here with ratings and stuff like that before we get out of here. But what I think is cool about this too is these tag team, this division is phenomenal, right? But now you take Miz and Morrison, and when they get done with their run, you split them out. Roman Reigns has some great guys to feud with. A Roman Reigns versus Morrison feud over that championship. Roman Reigns versus The Miz. Let's go back there. Yes.
100%. Totally.
Yeah, I mean, Big E, you want to spin him out at some point? These guys, it reminds me of SmackDown back whenever Paul Heyman was booking it.
Yeah.
And he put all these great tag teams together, and he built this whole show around all these guys. I mean, it was Kurt Angle, it was Eddie Guerrero, it was all.
It's pretty sweet, huh?
Oh, those are fantastic. Those are good. Those are good. All right, so we're gonna get
really good stuff. I agree.
Two more things to get to here before we get you guys back to your Valentine's Day plans and your Blue Chew. That is not a plug. Two things here. First off, Rusev's WWE contract is still under dispute. He has been pulled from TV as of late. It was reported. The Observer is reporting that the Bulgarian Brute still has plenty of time left on his current contract, but there's no word yet on when it will expire. But they are saying that despite the booking, which is him being pulled, and this is not a sign that Rusev's issues with WWE have been settled. So it's looking like there's still something going on. Keep in mind that it was earlier this year or late last year that Lana signed a 5-year deal. And it was said at the time Rusev was about to expire and he was unhappy with the spot. Right. He had that big feud with I don't know. I think it's interesting.
He's coming back. He has to be, right?
Yeah. I think he's been terribly underutilized in the entire time he's been there.
Right?
Right.
Which one of us, even me, which wrestler can't say that? We all can say that. He definitely, because he got super over on his own. Rusev Day was a real thing. It still is. He got that over, and he is over. And that is, that's got to be frustrating for him. But no offense, dude, you're in a main event. You're in a main event storyline. It might not be the main event of WrestleMania, but your storyline, whether you think it's ridiculous or not, is A plus. Not what I'm rating it, but in Vince McMahon's eyes, A plus, the number one storyline that he is the most interested in when he comes to work each week. I promise it.
Yeah.
What are we doing, Rusev and Anya tonight? Did you see it last week? Like, sir, he's doing all that.
Yep. So, you kids, people in the chat room love your kid, Matt. They're saying, let's get rid of me and bring on this Jackson kid instead. So there you go. Yeah. So, Rusev, interesting storyline there. I agree with you. His wife is in WWE, 5-year contract. He's not going to leave, but maybe he at least gets a big payday out of it.
What about Moxley, Matt? Moxley did it. Okay, yes, he did, and others probably have as well.
Moxley's an entirely different situation, though.
Right.
Like, not everybody's going to go to AEW and be John Moxley. You can't have everybody doing that.
It's not going to AEW, becoming Moxley. No,
right. Although Rusev with a pirate eye patch, that could be pretty badass. I don't know. We could get there.
What made you? Oh, yeah.
Very last thing I want to get to here before we get you guys back to your Valentine's Day evening is the AEW NXT Wednesday Night Wars. AEW has won handily this year, and no surprise, AEW wins again this week. Matt, you can't pick a side. No.
I admit it outright before every Wednesday. I tell people straight up.
Credibility in journalism, Matt. Come on.
You introduced me as a journalist.
That's true.
Just Matt.
Matt, the wrestling fan.
That's right. This guy is here with us tonight, folks. This dude.
Which one does Jackson prefer? That's what the fans want to know. Does Jackson prefer AEW or NXT?
I think it's a little bit of more of an NXT mark.
There we go. So the ratings this week break down to 817,000 viewers on the AEW side. That is a drop from last week, which was they were at 928,000 viewers. So a pretty substantial drop. And it is their lowest rating of 2020 so far. 817,000 viewers.
That's their lowest they've been for 2020, not all year.
No. 2020 only. They were a little bit lower at the end of last year, so they're still above that. But it is their lowest of the year.
We'll take it.
Yeah, you have ebbs and flows. It's not the bottom. NXT also did drop a little bit from last week too. They were at 757,000 viewers, a drop from 770 from the previous week.
Nothing for nothing though. Everyone, you said it yourself, and others say it too. How AEW handily beats them. That is not handily beating. As we're looking at these numbers, they're not. It's not like a 1.5 to like a 0.75 rating comparison, right?
Right.
They're pretty damn close. I mean,
yeah, and that gap is shortened a little bit. I think, it keeps seems like they're settling out. AEW's not dropped below 800,000 this year, which I think is good.
Do you see how annoying this is? What annoys me about WWE here, because if they just let them have their Wednesday, do you see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't that? There's no guarantee they would double that number and have all those fans that watch NXT. You think they would, and that would make sense. But it's proven that they wouldn't just double it, as we've seen when Vince bought out WCW. He did not get their whatever the hell it was 2.0 rating added to his rating when he bought WCW out, if you remember. But his number would definitely go up significantly. And again, let them build their brand. Let them get over. You have nothing to lose. You're the Walt Disney World of wrestling. You guys are not going anywhere ever. It's never going to happen. You're not going to go out of business until you decide you want to go out of business one day, Vince. Jackson, sit down and stop it right now.
Until the XFL becomes the number one thing in America. And then, right? I agree.
Don't you agree, though? Like, let them get started. Let them get their feet up underneath them. Give them a year or two even.
Yep.
And then go after them and try to let them build that audience that you yourselves are not building on your own. You're not drawing them in. So they're obviously getting to a demographic that you're not getting. Let them go get it. Let them build it, and then go in for the kill, and then make your whatever you're going to compete against it somewhat similar or completely the polar opposite. If you think that is going to entertain this demographic that for years you weren't getting, that AEW has found an answer to go get and try to steal those viewers.
Yep.
But you got to. I would have just let them build it first.
100% agree.
They try to. I guess in war, you want to extinguish your opponent, before they can get armored, get suited up, get weaponed up and whatnot, and have a chance of fighting back against you. I don't know. I'd rather let them get set up more and then go in for the kill and try to take their viewers once they double that number in a few years if they were able to. But don't compete against them because you're hampering that opportunity to draw more fans into pro wrestling overall. And this is why wrestling is not as popular as it used to be, in my opinion, because these other companies continue to get extinguished or put down before they really get a chance to get going and get bigger and draw bigger masses of fans. Because I still firmly think AEW does draw a different animal. I do. I think they're able to pick up a different fan than WWE is getting week in and week out.
Well, 100%, because I mean, to your point, it's not like if AEW goes away, WWE would not double their viewership. Now, there is that overlap. So on the weeks where AEW didn't show or NXT ran their award show, the other show popped a little bit. But it's not, I mean, I agree with you because I think they're kind of digging from the same pool here. And I wish that, like, if you would put AEW on Thursday nights, or NXT on Thursday nights, right? That show stands out so much. NXT is a great wrestling show.
It is a great wrestling show. Bell to Bell is usually a really great show. I agree.
And it's up against another great wrestling show that everybody talks about more because it's buzzier every week because of the talent and everything else. So, would you say better storylines?
I like AEW storylines better.
Yeah, especially this year. And so, I think they're shooting themselves in the foot here. I will remind everybody, as I do every week, though, that you and I, Matt, are talking about the highest rated wrestling show of the week tonight, which is Friday Night SmackDown, which has also become, in my opinion, the least creative wrestling show of the week, too. So take that as you will.
What do you mean by that, the highest rated?
That SmackDown draws in more viewers than AEW and NXT combined, more viewers than Raw every week. SmackDown is the highest rated wrestling show of the week.
They're beating Raw every week now?
Yeah, they've been beating Raw every week since they've been on SmackDown.
On Fox, you mean?
Yeah, I mean, since they've been on Fox, yeah.
What? Tell me what their number. I don't mean to put you in the spot, but like, what's their number they're usually drawing? I know you always say millions of viewers. Just give me the decimal. To give me the actual number.
So, let's see here.
1.8. What is it?
Give me half a second here to pull it up. Sorry. Yeah. You're good. Deadline. SmackDown ratings. It's already harder because wrestling. We can find it from Wrestling Inc. They're good people out here. SmackDown ratings for this year, 2.497 million, 0.8 in the ratings. So yeah, they're averaging right just under 2.5 million viewers every week.
So the number 2.5 rating, right?
Yeah. Well, it's a 0.8 rating in the 18 to 49 demographic, but overall it's a 2.5 million viewers. Yeah.
And what's Raw?
One moment. I think it's been around a 2 for a number of yeah.
What in the hell? I've just assumed Raw has been their number one rated show every single week.
Nope. So this week, for example, or last week, they did 2.168 million viewers and a smaller share in the 1849.67. Their highest of the year is 2.4, which would go up against that SmackDown number I just told you about. But otherwise, they've been less than 2.4. They've lost to Friday Night SmackDown every week
since it came to Fox.
Yep, since it came to Fox.
Wow.
Yeah.
How come I don't hear more about that fact? Seriously, I cover SmackDown with you guys every Friday. Yep. I cover Raw with the gang every Monday, and I don't ever hear us say, "Hey, SmackDown kicked the crap out of Raw this."
Yeah.
SmackDown's the new A show.
Yeah. And it's close. It's close most weeks. Like for be fair, like I mean, last week they were off by about 100,000 viewers. But some weeks it's 300,000 or 400,000 viewers. It's different.
When I was on SmackDown, if we beat Raw, I think when we beat them like maybe once or twice. We had a really good damn roster too, as when Brock was our champion. wrestling Kurt Angle and Eddie and Benoit and all them.
Yeah.
It was a really good roster.
I wonder, it's the Fox thing though. I think like it's just on broadcast TV, so it's easier for more people to get to it. Because Raw's been better, I think, as of late than SmackDown has. And honestly, the post-game show you guys do for Raw every week, I think is a lot of weeks the highest viewed post-game show on Wrestling Inc. and the highest listened to podcast.
That's a good point.
So more casual viewers, I think, tune in just to check out Friday Night SmackDown. So anyway, that's the news. Matt, you got anything else for the viewers at home?
Do I? I do not. That's Sophia the First in the background, folks. Sorry about that.
Just wait. Jackson's practicing. He's going to be on here in a few weeks, co-hosting. Are you guys doing a show for Sunday night for the takeover event?
Yes.
Awesome. Is Glenn back from his hiatus?
I don't know about him. I know I'll be on. I'm pretty positive Raj will.
Cool.
And I forget who else was. Maybe you even. I don't know.
No, I don't think it's. Hey, Raj didn't mention me. It's either probably Glenn or LeBar. I mean, if y'all want me, hit me up. But
maybe.
Let me know.
I just know I am. That's all.
Maybe Glenn's back.
Maybe I'm by
Everybody,
myself.
Glenn will be back Sunday.
Maybe I'm by myself completely.
There you go. Well, you know what, Matt? I shouldn't tell you this, but the last time you weren't able to do a show, I told the fans all night you were going to be there. That's like I broke number one rule. I was like, just stay tuned, guys. He's going to join us soon. So.
That's pretty good though.
Yeah. Card subject to change.
That's awesome though. That's some good heel tactics there, Mr. Wiseman. Very well done.
Well, listen, we appreciate you all who joined us here in the chat room tonight. If you like what you heard here, please, you can subscribe to the podcast wherever you get your podcast. If you like it though, we'd also appreciate it. Give us a rating on iTunes. Give us a review. Give us that thumbs up on YouTube. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. All of that helps everybody else reach us. I want to say thank you to Matt and thank you to Jackson. Jackson, you were awesome.
Hi. Not bad for nonverbal my ass, right?
That's awesome, dude. It's a better promo than some people in WWE can cut these days. No, thank you guys so much for joining us. Again, you join back here Sunday night. He is at BP Matt Morgan. I am at The Real Wiseman. We will catch you right here next time on Wrestling Inc.